Welcome to High School OT Live. Here's your host, Nick Stevens.
And hello, everybody. Welcome back to the High School OT Postgame Show. I'm Nick Stevens along with TJ Thorpe. The high school football season is officially over. The 3A football state championship game just concluded. East Lincoln beating Northern Nash 30-15. It was a game that started off with Northern Nash on a roll.
Yes.
Lots of big plays there early. They took a lead. East Lincoln came back and took control.
Yeah. So East Lincoln played about the way we thought Tarboro would respond. A lot of these teams that we thought would come out and play a certain way. East Lincoln kind of was asleep behind the wheel at the beginning.
Yep.
Took a shot to the face, and next
Took
thing
a
you
couple.
know, took a couple haymakers to the face, and they responded like, I guess you would call it the Mike Tyson, Muhammad Ali, or somebody who knows how to get hit in the face, right? And they came back, and it would look like rattled off 30 unanswered points almost.
Yep.
And from start to finish, you could tell that they were just an overwhelming favorite in this game. I'm not sure what it was, what sparked it, but once they hit every play. Offensively, they were hitting on all cylinders. Defensively, they were swarming to the ball. Just a very convincing win all around for East Lincoln.
It really was, and we're going to get to those highlights here in just a second, but the response from East Lincoln was big because Northern Nash came out. They scored a touchdown real quick on their opening drive. Very first play from scrimmage for East Lincoln. A turnover, defense got a stand, and they came back, scored, took a lead. Now, it went back and forth for a minute, but East Lincoln built a pretty commanding lead after that. Let's get to those highlights from the 3A state championship game. And we will start with Keno Jones passes to Randall King, who takes a screen pass 67 yards down inside the 5-yard line. That was the big play that set up the first touchdown of the game, and that touchdown was a run from Keno Jones, the 2-yard touchdown run. Extra point fails at 6-0 Northern Nash. Less than a minute gone in this one. Later first quarter, Christian Daly answers for East Lincoln. He takes the handoff and goes 35 yards for the first touchdown of the game for the Mustangs. Extra point is good. That makes it 7-6 East Lincoln. Next possession for Northern Nash. Keno Jones going to the air, and he's going deep for Trey Battle. He makes the catch, and this is good for 45 yards. That drive stalls, though, and after missing an extra point, Bryson Jenkins hits the 22-yard field goal to put the Knights back up on top, 9-7. Second quarter, same score. Mustangs back in front after a 14-yard pass from Tyler Mazzell to Markel Clark for another East Lincoln touchdown. That makes it 14-9 Mustangs. Still second quarter. East Lincoln's Mazzell completes an 18-yard pass to Keandre Walker for another East Lincoln touchdown. That makes it 21-9 midway through the quarter. And as the first half ends, East Lincoln adds on. Christopher Miltel drives a 34-yard field goal home as time expires. The Mustangs lead Northern Nash 24-9 at halftime. After a scoreless third quarter, East Lincoln again a field goal in the fourth, 24 yards out this time. That makes it 27-9. And then Milletta one more time in the fourth quarter. This field goal was good from 30 yards, and we're not going to have that field goal apparently. You see them kneeing it out there. East Lincoln beating Northern Nash 30-15, the final score. And we saw several field goals. Special teams plays, again, coming in handy here in the state championships.
Yeah, no, that's been the thing. If you're going to put together a complete game, what does a complete game look like? Lights out on defense, lights out on offense, and then obviously you got to add something in on special teams. And in every single game that we've seen a winner, we've seen some sort of special teams play that propelled them to that victory, or at least changed the game, or in this case, helped them seal the game. So again, special teams is the one thing in high school football that people just seem to forget about. But ultimately, if you want to win a championship here in the state of North Carolina, it seems to be a big thing to help you do that.
This is the third state championship overall for East Lincoln, the first since 2014. Now, we had our whole crew there at the game tonight for high school OT. Joel Bryant, Kyle Morton, J. Mike Blake, all joining us tonight live from the field at Carter Finley Stadium. Guys, break this one down for us. Tell us what you saw as East Lincoln really turned the tables there on Northern Nash after a not a great start for the Mustangs and came out winning 30-15 tonight in the state championship game.
Well, I think when we talked about it after the game in the press conferences, Northern Nash said East Lincoln was too good of a team to give the ball to 4 times. And that those 4 turnovers, 3 interceptions, one, it was a mishandled snap. I don't even think it's a bad shotgun snap. But that East Lincoln was too good to give that away. And so East Lincoln was too good to give those kind of possessions to. And at the end of the day, Northern Nash still gutted it out. Got it within. It's a 2-score game at the end. And Nick, you and I talked about what ending subdivisions has done for the sport. This was the largest margin of victory of all 4 games, just 15 points.
Yeah, there were not very many. There were no blowouts in the state
for
championships
once, right?
this year, and we saw that a lot when we had 8 classifications in the past. But it's been a good weekend of high school football here in North Carolina for state championships. Now, we could not see the post-game press conferences. We had some technical difficulties on our end. I know we'll have those recorded and posted later, but can y'all tell us what what East Lincoln said about its ability to come back and kind of turn the momentum there after the first quarter?
Yeah, so they made a point of they were just not phased at all. The coach actually said that they were kind of freaking out, but the players were just like stoic. They're like, we got this, man. Like, it doesn't matter. And I think that mentality probably really helped them just kind of, just not succumb to that early deficit that they had. And it really says a lot about the character of the guys they have in that team.
Yeah, they're really not used to getting punched in the mouth, and they really got punched in the mouth tonight with that early touchdown by Northern Nash. I mean, they've given up double figures in points twice all year. One of them was to Kings Mountain in the playoff game where they had pulled away, and then Kings Mountain added on late. So for Northern Nash to strike that quickly, that was a big gut punch, but major credit to them for not letting it phase them and making whatever adjustments they needed to and kind of keeping them in check the rest of the way.
And I think that's a credit to having a lot of maturity year players and a senior-led team. And they talked about how deep they were. They said if we go 13 deep, we have so many. Next guy up, there are players that could be starting for other teams. They had the maturity. They even though many of us said, wow, look what they did at Kings Mountain, like East Lincoln might be the favorite. The players never really bought. They expected Northern Nash to have something, and so they weren't surprised when Northern Nash showed that they were a good team. And sometimes that's what it takes in a championship game is when you respect your opponent, you expect them to have a good moment, and you're not thrown off by it. You're not melting down on the sidelines. They were very composed. They went on a stretch there where they had trailed 9-7. And then they were up, I think, 30-9 until that last touchdown. Yep. So just a lot of unanswered points. And Northern Nash, to keep them the field goal, so that was actually pretty good. It kept this game closer than it could have been. It could have gotten out of hand, but both teams just really given all that they had out there tonight.
I think overall Northern Nash might have given them the best offensive effort of the season. I'll have to go back and check, but they had
314 yards. Yeah. The 4 turnovers kind of disguise it. Doesn't make it lessens the value of those yards a little bit. But yeah, that's a lot of yards to put on this really good defense. Ben Cutter, incredible linebacker. In the secondary, Keandre Walker was kind of a lockdown corner tonight. And there was 2 big passing plays, and that was it that Northern Nash really got. They had some chunk plays, but weren't able to really go over the top too much.
Yeah, those 2 guys are standouts. The linebacker Cutter is going to West Virginia, which is obviously a very good school. Then Keandre Walker is going to UVA.
UVA,
yep. Yeah.
And we'll be hearing more about Christopher Daly, the running back, the sophomore here. He was a little bit bottled up, but the touchdown run he had that really got them going was out of this world good. Just able to stop on a dime and make guys miss, and then the stutter step to get in the end zone. Yeah,
and the jump cuts, there were highlight reel touchdowns for sure.
Well, I appreciate you guys being so descriptive there because I feel like we were there watching the game with you all. I think the biggest piece that you all said is the turnovers. I think that was the one thing that completely put this game out of reach. When you were there and you guys are watching this game, you spoke about the body language of East Lincoln. You spoke about how they were unfazed, even though their coaches might have felt a little pressure there in the beginning. On the inverse of that, there's 2 sides to every coin. What did it look like on the Northern Nash side, who was with a team that starts so high, and then for whatever reason things didn't go their way? But again, as you said, to their point, they never gave up. They kept fighting. But what was some of the feelings or thoughts or anything that was going on their sideline from your viewpoint?
They absolutely kept fighting. There was no quit in that team, and I think it really just came down to them just not being quite as good as East Lincoln was tonight. The turnover thing is funny because the first turnover of the game actually was forced by Northern Nash after that touchdown. They had a chance to go up 2 scores. They were in the red zone. They got driven out of the red zone, and then they weren't able to convert on 4th down. So that was another thing that East Lincoln had to come back from.
Yeah, I think when Northern Nash offensively, of course, they were frustrated, right? They moved the ball, interception. And 2 interceptions are really good plays. The defensive lineman tapping the ball to himself.
The nose guard.
The nose guard tapping the ball to himself. The linebacker making a diving catch, a reserve linebacker making an incredible diving catch. So the offense was kind of maybe frustrated, but they still scored in the final minute. And the defense, I think, showed great resolve. Carson Jenkins is an undersized linebacker who, if you look at his stats, every game he's got like 20-something tackles. And, of course, people are skeptical when they see that. Like, how are they counting tackles over at that school? Well, tonight, the official scorekeeper had him down for 20 tackles. He was a quarterback spy. And he was just sideline to sideline, and he kind of set the tempo. The defense made sure that they were never out of it, which is why tonight's game, it could have been out of hand, but instead it was a 2-score game when the clock reached 0-0, and that shows that Northern Nash was not going to throw in the towel at any point.
All right, Joel Bryant, Kyle Morton, J-Mac Blake at Carter Finley Stadium tonight for the 3A Football State Championship game. We appreciate it, guys. Lots of coverage still to come on highschoolot.com tonight. And, of course, we'll have more throughout the day. Real quick, guys.
Bye, Nick. We're about to get kicked off the field.
Before we let you go, I have one more question for you, and I meant to ask this earlier.
No, y'all got to go. Come on. Yeah. State says y'all got to go.
We're literally getting kicked off.
They're getting kicked off the field.
State says y'all got to go.
That's just like State, folks. That's why you go to UNC, people.
All right. Well, we're back here, and TJ, I'll ask you about this. We want to pull up some of the highlights while we talk over this. I think. Can you talk about the ability of a team mentally to come in such a big atmosphere, a big game, to come back and flip things around after you get punched in the mouth the way that East Lincoln did?
Well, I can speak to just it didn't turn out the way that East Lincoln, we didn't end up winning the game, but just from my standpoint, my last football game in high school, we were down 20-0 or 21-0 to 71st, which we all know is not a bad team. And it really becomes just the mentality, I think, that the players, the athletes get. No one likes losing. Nobody likes being shut out. But it's something about pride. It's something about being able to understand what you're doing wrong, find the issue, and then fix it. And so in this case, I think it was very simple. I think it was as simple as them coming together. We heard from firsthand, the coaches kind of were like, oh, what are you guys doing? But as players, that's when you lean on your seniors. You lean on the people who've been here before. You lean on the people who got you there. And ultimately, it doesn't matter what the coaches think. I mean, yeah, they're coaching you, but they can't play for you. So it becomes that team mentality. It becomes who wants it more. And then you got to understand, there's no tomorrow in this game. This game is the end-all, be-all. And ultimately, you got to put it out there on the line because I know I didn't have any regrets, but I do know multiple people, not necessarily on my team, but who played the sport or any sport, who just wish they had to put their best foot forward near it at the end. So in this case, band together, be brothers, but also just do what got you there. The moment's never too big. It's still football. Do what got you there, and that's what East Lincoln did. They went right back to what got them there, and it also got them 30 unanswered points.
30-15, the final score tonight. East Lincoln is the 3A state champion, beating Northern Nash at Carter Finley Stadium. And that is the end of the 2022 high school football season here in North Carolina. But don't worry, we've got a little sad. I mean, I can come up with something for you to do next week.
No, it's okay.
We have the Shrine Bowl next Saturday. You want to go to South Carolina?
No, I've already been down there and it rained when I was in the Shrine Bowl. But TJ Thorpe show coming.
That's right. We have a meeting this week.
We do have a meeting
to talk about the TJ Thorpe show season 2.
Yes.
Should be a fun, another fun summer.
Maybe kicking field goals this time.
That's
maybe
the word.
tackling athletes.
You might should pay attention to a story on High School OT next week to find out why.
Oh, maybe.
Yeah. There might be a 5-star kicker somewhere in this state.
There might be a 5-star kicker
to kick a 60-yard field goal.
Here's the thing I wanted to ask you, and I'm going to ask you on camera too.
I cannot kick a 60-yard field goal.
No, I wasn't even going to ask you that. But I've been getting so much people hitting me up and all this traffic about, you guys do so much for the prospects that have already been there. And I'm like, we'll get our mind turning. Maybe we do something to help some of these guys postseason, see if maybe they can get their name out there a little more, or highlight some of the things they're doing.
Are you foreshadowing what
I don't know. But if you're not watching this, you wouldn't know, and therefore you do not qualify.
We'll just have to post this on Instagram and let everybody see.
Maybe.
We have a lot of big plans coming for High School OT in 2023. TJ will be part of that. A lot of big football plans in 2023, not just during football season. Our football coverage will be year-round. We are bringing Joel Bryant, or have brought Joel Bryant on board to cover football and recruiting all year long on High School OT. So he will be very busy with football coverage. And of course, we said TJ will be doing the TJ Thorpe show.
Oh, yeah.
We're going to get him involved in some of that recruiting coverage as well, and talking about some of the prospects.
And I'm in shape now, so I'm making one-hand catches and doing it all.
He's going to go all OBJ.
I might even, whoa now.
Pre-knee.
Okay. Pre-knee and hamstring.
Yeah, okay. All right. More coverage coming your way from the state championships this weekend and throughout next week on High School OT. We'll have wrap-ups from all 8 teams and sidebar stories from our crews who are there at the games. Thanks for following the high school football season with us here on High School OT. For TJ Thorpe and everyone else here at High School OT, I'm Nick Stevens. Congratulations to all the state champions. We'll see you back here in August.
Boom.